Test, test, audio test.
At 195, a forfeit for Santan to Lucas Phillips. At 220, a forfeit to Zeke Cotto. Our heavyweight match will be Dylan Maselli receiving a forfeit. At 106, Norman Avila versus I. Jawanski. Double forfeit at 113. At 120, J.D. Cahill and forfeit from Santan. At 126, Nolan Tozan versus Travis Trapani. At 132, Austin Maselli versus Gavin Furry. At 138, Anthony Hood versus Stephen Brodsky. At 145, David Roloff versus Brandon Becker. And finally at 152, Jared Shumway versus Alan Flynn.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live from Santan Foothills High School for tonight's varsity wrestling matchup featuring the Fountain Hills Falcons. They'll be facing off against your Santan Foothill Sabercats. I'm joined here with Christian Klein. Christian, how you doing tonight?
Doing good, sir. Doing good. Glad to be here, back in the gym. Glad to see some competition going on amongst this, pandemic. And I'm just happy that everything is back to somewhat normal and that we get to see some live action.
And that's one of the amazing things about this season thus far is, for a while there was actually a question whether or not there was going to be a wrestling season at all. Yet here we are kicking off with a JV matchup, Danny McIver versus Michael Marcello from Fountain Hills. So starting off with a pretty interesting, almost like an exhibition match, but a JV matchup here to kick us off tonight.
Yeah, it's never fun when you get to see all those forfeits, but at least we get to have two matches here at the JV level to get the night started, get the blood flowing, and we'll see how it fares.
And the competitors head out to the mat right now. And for those fans at home that are a little bit unfamiliar with how wrestling at both the varsity and JV level are scored, how does scoring work for a competition like this?
So scoring will work by a few ways. Right now the players are neutral, so the way a player or a wrestler would score would be by getting a takedown, such as White has got here. Fountain Hills looks like, oh no, so he did not finish the takedown there, so they're still neutral. You can see Coach Johnson over there from the Sabercats yelling crossface.
It looks like Santan Foothills kind of in an advantageous position there as this wrestling match occurs as they head out of the circle.
Yes, and that was good there of him getting back to his feet, and now they're circling back, and it was great that he avoided the takedown, so no points awarded there for Fountain Hills.
And here we are just 1 minute into this match, and these two wrestlers look like they're evenly matched up out there on the mat.
Oh, it looks like we have a takedown here. Yep, and 2 points for Fountain Hills. Sabercat's looking for an escape here, and it looks like he does get to his feet. They are neutral. We have a score of 2-1 Fountain Hills.
Yeah, both the wrestlers are back to their feet as they look for an advantage over one another, looking for a way to extend this lead.
Good double leg takedown there by Fountain Hills. That'll be worth 2. Score is now 4-1.
And Fountain Hills looks to capitalize on this position right here. With about 15 seconds remaining, they're going to look to add a little bit more to this score before we go into the break.
And he seems to be going for the far side cradle there. He has control of the one hand, and he now is going in for a half Nelson here. Not looking too good for the Sabercats if he gets this in.
Definitely running out of time with 3 seconds remaining. And that horn So in wrestling, are these periods that the wrestlers are
Yeah,
wrestling
so
for?
it's going to be 3 2-minute periods. The first period always starts out with both wrestlers neutral. However, the second and third period gets a choice of. You'll see the ref just flipped a coin there. So he gave the red choice, which is the SaberCats player here, and he chose the down position, the bottom position, which in wrestling can be deemed, from the naked eye or someone from the outside as a disadvantage, position. But it is, however, a very good position to start out of because you can escape here and get 1 point, which looks like the SaberCats are trying to do.
So I'm guessing that's something that you work on in practice then. Like, you work on your escapes so that when you have that choice, you pick the position that you've practiced the most and hopefully have an advantage going into the period.
Absolutely. Coach should have a section of practice blocked off for escapes and reversals. Absolutely.
It
does seem like Fountain Hills has a half Nelson in here, and he has turned him onto his back. So the ref gave him there a near fall of 2 because he was on his back for just a few seconds. Whereas if he would have had him there for more than a few seconds, say 2 or 3, it would have been worth 3 points. So the score is now 6-1 Fountain Hills.
Gotcha. And this is looking really similar to what we saw in period number 2. The wrestler from Fountain Hills seems to be taking control. For about the first 45 seconds, they appear to be neutral. And then Michael Marcello there from Fountain Hills seems to take advantage and really wear out McIver from Santan Foothills.
Absolutely. The SaberCats are showing some life here with that escape, but as you can see, Fountain Hills wrestler here just got another takedown, so he does seem to be wearing him out quite a bit.
Well, and you have to take into consideration the fact that this year in AIA wrestling, the wrestlers are wearing masks throughout the entire competition, and that can impact your breathing, that can impact how you're able to function out there on the mat.
Oh, and we do have a pin here from Fountain Hills, and as you were saying, Stephen, yes, as a former wrestler, I could not imagine having to, on top of everything that they endure, have to wear these masks during practice and during the event, and so, more props to them, more power to them.
And so that pin does end the match.
It does, yep. So that'll be a win here for Fountain Hills. Pins are worth 6 points during the team matchups, but since there are tons of forfeits here, I don't think they're really keeping score will matter too much. And looks like next we have an exhibition here from Fountain Hills, 2 Fountain Hills wrestlers. You quite often see this in wrestling when the other team does not have a wrestler to fill the spot. More common during tournaments. Looks like we got a takedown here already, though. Oh, and he's on his back, and a quick pin from the ref. Wow. That was only 20 seconds in there, Steven.
Does your mentality change when you're in an exhibition match like this? I mean, definitely when you're in the heat of competition, that has to change your focus and almost your adrenaline a little bit.
I would say so, yes. And sometimes the wrestlers, they get a little bit more friendly because they know it's their teammate. They're familiar with the person. They're not as aggressive or as strong as if they were going into a match where they did not know the opponent. So, but it looks like that. Are we starting the varsity match here, or do we have another exhibition?
From what I have sitting in front of me here, it looks like.
Oh, it looks like they're just jumping straight.
We'll be going right into the varsity
match, right? Yeah. Well, okay. Here we go. So the ref flips a coin, and it is the SaberCats' choice. And all he's saying here is that Santan will be the green color, and then the Fountain Hills wrestling squad will be the red color.
And it looks like we'll be starting with the 160-pound matchup from Santan Foothills Fuentes versus Ty Langer from Fountain Hills. And the weight class that starts the competition, is that randomly decided, or is that something that's fixed for each match?
Back when I wrestled, it was always we started from the very first lightest guy, and we went up from there. But I believe now it's pulled at random before matches, and then they just so like for example today we started at 160, and then so next we go from next up on, and then we'll finish up with the lighter guys. So it kind of throws in a little bit of a difference, a little bit of a change from your normal, always starting with the lighter guys and ending with the bigger guys. So because a lot of times these matches come down to the last few matches, so you don't always want to be at the beginning where you don't have the excitement of the whole team coming down to your match, on your shoulders. So
Yeah, and we're going to be seeing Gabe Fuentes, who's a freshman. He was a starter on the JV football team. He was a lineman, and this is his first year wrestling. So this is going to be a relatively new skill set for him as he comes out here for only his second match of his young career.
absolutely, and his head coach Darren Johnson probably must have pulled him from the old football squad like he did a lot of. I know that's his number one tactic, is he's always looking for those football players to become multi-sport athletes, and wrestling's the perfect sport for that.
All right, and here we are getting set for the first varsity match of tonight's competition. That is Santan Foothills Gabe Fuentes versus Fountain Hills Ty Langer. Timer is ready, and this match is off and running.
Wrestlers are tied up. They seem to get good hand and head control. Fighting back and forth here.
Yeah, Langer seems to have a good center of gravity, but the strength of Fuentes is keeping him in a good position to take advantage.
Absolutely, Steven. Yeah, Fuentes isn't giving much ground, and he's showing his resistance here. And the ref just blew it for a stalemate. Stop the call there. And all he's saying there, Steven, is that the wrestlers were, it didn't seem like either one was making a move towards a shoot or a throw. So he was just saying more action, more action.
So those wrestlers will reset with 1 minute and 15 seconds to go in period number 1. Fountain Hills with the takedown.
And that was a great double leg there by Langler.
Fuentes is fighting his way up, but unable to escape the grasp of Langer there as he attempts to work into a more advantageous position.
Yeah, Fuentes needs to get rid of that hand control. See, he's at the half deep in there, and if he pulls him over, he's on his back, and that's the danger zone.
And Langer looks to work from this position right here, but Fuentes so strong, he trying to work his way out of it. But
he just dropped him back in a near side cradle. Fuentes broke out of it, though. Ref scored a 2-point near fall there, so the score is now 4-0.
And that was dangerously close to being the end of the match right there. It looked like he was pinned, and the referee was looking for that count.
Yeah, oh yeah, no, 1 or 2 more seconds there, and Fuentes would have been pinned. So it's a good thing he got out of that.
Using his strength, he gotten out, but still not in a great position right here. Fuentes working near the center of the mat as we have 10 seconds. We do have a whistle that will stop the timer.
And the ref blew that for a caution on the Fountain Hills wrestler for having a double Nelson in there. In wrestling, you're only allowed to have one hand through above in the head, and that's why it's called half Nelson rather than a full Nelson. Full Nelsons are an illegal move.
And not coming from a wrestling background, I've done a lot of football, and sometimes you have those offensive linemen that get a holding call, but sometimes it's inadvertent, sometimes it's positioning. Is it the same way in wrestling where you're not intentionally doing that, but just the positioning puts you in there?
Absolutely, Steven. Yeah, these wrestlers get gassed here, and he's towards the end of the period here, so he's probably pretty tired, and sometimes that other hand sneaks in there and you don't realize it, and the ref calls it, and that's why it's good that it's a caution and it's a warning call first and foremost before giving a penalty to the player.
And that horn is going to end the first period of the 160-pound varsity matchup here. We'll get a quick reset here as we head to period number 2. Score at the moment, Fountain Hills 4, Florence 2. Santan Foothills 2, excuse me.
And it was Santan Foothills player's choice. It was Fuentes' choice. He chose up.
So we start with another 2-minute countdown here. Once again, score is 4-2 in favor of the Falcons as the wrestlers.
And that was a good reversal there by Langer. And he has that half in. He's really riding with that half in that far side leg.
Oh, and this is very close to a pin right here. Referee is checking.
Not looking good for Fuentes here.
Langer is trying to work his way out of it, but in a rough position here, and that will end the match. Gabe Fuentes victorious over Ty Langer with that pin.
It seemed like Fuentes, wasn't going to give up there, but it seemed like Langer was just the bigger man.
But you got to admire, even though throughout that entire match it looked like he was wrestling at a disadvantage, he didn't give up.
Absolutely, showed a lot of heart. Fought till the end. And he's only a freshman, I believe, right? So he's still got a long ways to go wrestling here on varsity. So.
I mean, that's a good point. You got to keep in mind that that was only the second wrestling match of his young
career,
varsity.
Right? Yeah. No, that's something, man. I didn't win a single match until the final match of my freshman career. So he's going to get there. All right, here at 170 pounds, we have Jesus Villalobos for your Santan Foothills Sabercats and Calvin Lupien for the Fountain Hills Falcons. And already we have Lupien with a takedown and a 3-point near fall. It's a quick score of 5-0 out here in 30 seconds into the first. He's got a half Nelson in there trying to ride it.
And this 170-pound matchup, starting off very similar to the 160-pound matchup with the Fountain Hills wrestler on top, looking for a pin out of this position right here.
And it looks like he's going to get it, Steven. He's in there deep. And oh, no.
Look at the strength to get those shoulders off of the mat.
Point escape. Wow. Way to show heart there for Villalobos.
No, that looked like the match could be over in just a moment, and here we are with the wrestlers reset.
Absolutely. He needs a sprawl here and get out of this deep double leg. Oh, wow, what a great reversal. And he has Lupien on his back. Oh, my. Lupien is in danger here. Wow. And a crazy change of events and a great pin for Villalobos with only 28 seconds left in the first.
That's about 20 seconds that just shifted the momentum incredibly from Fountain Hills over to Santan Foothills. That is going to be a victory for Villalobos. He's a sophomore. He was also a starter on the JV football team. He's one of the hardest workers on the team.
And it showed right there, man. He did not give up. He went from almost being pinned to winning the match via pin. And that says a lot right there.
And that right there, that is all hard work right there.
Absolutely.
I mean, the raw strength that took, just incredible. As we head into the 182-pound matchup, Robert Legler for Santan Foothills versus Brandon Despain for Fountain Hills.
And now we start getting into the bigger boys here, Steven, and these are where the matches get very interesting. You can see a lot more size, a lot more muscle, a lot more throws. Wrestlers are tying up with each other here. It looks like Sabercat's going for a headlock, and he got it. Wow, and another quick pin. Unreal, that was only 28 seconds. He got him with the headlock and the hip toss. That is, wow.
And we are very young in this varsity matchup, but Sabercats are looking very strong right now. And it looks like the 195-pound weight class and the 220-pound weight class, both forfeits for tonight. Santan Foothills will forfeit to Lucas Phillips in the 195-pound matchup. 220 will be a Fountain Hill forfeit to Ezekiel Hodo.
And that's sad to see, Steven, because those, like I said, those are two of my favorite weight classes with the bigger guys there. And it sucks that we got to miss out on that. But, hey, now we're moving on to the heavyweight matchup, right?
Yeah, this is going to be...
it looks like exhibition matchups here.
Yeah, so this is going to be Lucas Phillips and Ezekiel Hodo in a exhibition match here.
Gotcha.
We do have different weight classes. So Lucas Phillips is wrestling in the 195-pound weight class, while Zeke Hodo is in the 220-pound weight class.
Oh, wow. Quick takedown here by the SaberCats. The Fountain Hills wrestler is fighting to get off of his back. Flips him over again there. And we're pinned. Match over.
And even in the exhibition match, that was a very quick pin and a match that took 32 seconds. So we're coming out of a 28-second match now into a 32-second match. Just absolutely incredible the rate at which these wrestlers are moving through this competition.
And it's funny you say that, Steven. I think the SaberCats had a little bit of a weight advantage there in the exhibition as the Fountain Hills wrestler was the one weight class below.
Oh, there's no doubt that 25 pounds makes a big difference when we're talking about varsity wrestling.
Absolutely. But hey, regardless, that was an awesome pin, an awesome match, and the SaberCats have a lot to look forward to with that young man.
So this is going to take us into our heavyweight matchup.
And it looks like the SaberCats will be receiving a forfeit as well here. Now it's on to the little guys.
So what's the difference in strategy? When you're talking about the difference between 106 pounds versus 220, how does that change the sport of wrestling when you're talking about those weight differences?
Straight speed, Steven. You're gonna be seeing a lot more quickness, a lot more technique, a lot more fancy footwork, if you will. Whereas with the bigger boys, you're going to be seeing a lot more throws, headlocks, a lot slower moving, more methodical developing moves. So you'll see here the pace is going to start switching a lot here with a lot more shooting, a lot more moves, sprawling, all that good stuff. Looks like Avila went in for a shot here and got cross-faced, and he is about to be turned. The ref has not awarded any points yet for a takedown. And there we go. He's on his back now. Avila has to, there we go. So the ref scoring 2 points for a takedown, and it looks like that's about it. He gave no near fall points there.
Now, in order to get a stoppage here in varsity wrestling, do the wrestlers have to be completely outside of the mat to earn a stoppage?
Both of the wrestlers have to have one article of a body part outside of that outside of the ring. Looks like we have an escape here.
Had 2 takedowns for Red and 2 near fall for Reds.
Ah, see. So it should be 4-1. I thought so. Our score.
So the referee does update the score. Fountain Hills currently leading 4-1 in this match with 1 minute and 2 seconds remaining. But as we've seen in these previous matches, that can turn very quickly.
Absolutely, yeah. No, nothing is ever promised or guaranteed here on the mat.
And I think that's one of the interesting things about wrestling that you don't see in some of the other sports, where if you're watching a basketball game and there's a 30-point lead, you can be pretty confident who's going to win.
Absolutely.
Here in wrestling, a large lead doesn't do a whole lot unless you're able to finish the match.
Yeah, unless you're able to pin someone with that large lead or just maintain it. And there, we got some action here. Nice takedown by Avila. He's going to try and finish it out. The ref has not awarded points yet, and there we go. He gave him 2 for the takedown.
And Avila is really working here against Ty Jablonski.
Yeah, trying to get a leg in there on the near side, and Jablonski just threw him off there. Now on top for the reversal. That'll be another 2 points his way. Just before the period there, that was a great move to get those 2 points there before the period ending.
And that will take us into period number 2 with Fountain Hills leading with a score of 6-3. One of the interesting things about Norvin Avila is, in addition to just being an incredibly talented young wrestler, he takes honors classes, and he's got the brains to go with the brawn.
Hey, as you and I both know, the athletic talent won't get you anywhere beyond the collegiate level unless you have the academic grades to prove it as well alongside. So,
well, and even for all these athletes, a big takedown there.
That was a good reversal takedown there.
The intelligence that it takes to be a varsity wrestler, to study the different moves, to understand where you are, to understand your body position. It's not just raw strength. There's a lot of intelligence that goes into a sport like this.
Absolutely, and not only that, but reading your opponent as well, and being able to tell when they're extra tired or slacking a little bit, and being able to make your move and get in there. It goes way more beyond than just what you were saying. Absolutely. And a great escape here by Avila. Oh no, he didn't get it.
Very close to being off the mat as they continue to work.
And Jablonski got right back on him there. That was a great move to not allow the 1-point escape to cut this lead in half. Let's see, does the ref give him the point? No, he does not. He's going to call both wrestlers out. So Avila will start in the bottom position with Jablonski on top.
And here we are with 1 minute remaining to go in period number 2. Fountain Hills with an 8-3 lead. Wrestlers are resetting into position as we are exactly halfway through this 106-pound matchup.
That was a good far side takedown there to keep Avila at bay by Jablonski. See how he has 2-on-1 with the leg there. It's very hard for Avila to stand up and get an escape.
And Avila gets to his feet.
Looks like he does get there, and
a good reversal there.
Great reversal.
Oh, and Avila now in control with 30 seconds to go until the end of period number 2.
Cuts that lead to 3. We got 20 seconds left here in the second.
Wrestlers continue to work as we hit the 15-second mark. We do have a whistle and a stoppage.
Oh, no. Avila there with the technical violation, rather, giving Jablonski a 1-point penalty there. Score is now 9-5.
Not a good time for that penalty either. He's closing the lead. He was within 3.
I know he had the momentum, it seemed like, too. And again, goes back to what you were saying. Sometimes they just get so tired and you don't even realize it and your hands lock.
Wrestlers will continue to work as we have 5 seconds remaining until the horn, but we do have a stoppage with 3.9 seconds.
Looked like it was getting too bit of a dangerous move there by Jablonski. Yep. Wow, legal rube. So it looks like Avila will get that point back. Potentially dangerous call there by the ref.
The referee's going to take a moment to explain that call to the Fountain Hills coach. But, and that's really the number one job of the referee out there for all the points and the scoring and the competition is really just to make sure that these athletes remain safe.
Absolutely. First and foremost, you gotta think that's on their mind. Absolutely.
And that buzzer will end period number 2. Score going into the third period will be Santan Foothills 6, Fountain Hills 9. So Avila really hanging in there pretty well. He's been down most of this match, but he's never given up, and that lead has never gotten insurmountable.
No, he's definitely getting beaten, and I would say he's the underdog in this one, but he's holding his own for sure. And you see how he wisely chose the down position there, because his goal here is to try and get an escape. Looks like we got a 2-point near fall there for Jablonski of Fountain Hills, which will push the score to 11-6.
Now, is there any strategy to picking the down position because you're utilizing less energy and it's a chance to rest in the middle of the match? Is that ever a strategy in wrestling?
You could say that if you had the lead. I would. The only reason I would say that is if the wrestler had the lead and chose the bottom position. Otherwise, I would say the reason for choosing the down position is to get that 1-point escape and then go for the takedown as well, or a reversal, as Avila just showed there.
And your score is Avila 7, Jablonski 11, 4 points with 1 minute remaining to go in this third period of varsity
Jablonski
wrestling.
with a great double leg there. Wow, he saw his opportunity and shot.
And with 50 seconds left, if you're Avila right now, you got to be thinking you need a pin.
Absolutely, he just got another stalling call on him, which gave Jablonski, unfortunately, another point there. So it's now 14-7. Yeah, this coach telling him to dig deep there.
And you can just see it on both these wrestlers' faces. 6 minutes in the ring with the masks on. They're definitely feeling the fatigue right now.
I don't know how they're doing it, to be honest with you.
And we cross the 35-second mark as we head towards the end of this 106-pound varsity wrestling match.
And now, at this point of the match, it's just important for Avila not to get pinned here, to give up more team points than he would rather than just by losing by points. So he has to hold on for 14 more seconds here.
And we're down to 10
10
seconds remaining. 10 seconds as he desperately tries to prevent the pin, and 5.7 seconds remaining. We have a pin. Avila gave it everything he got and just came up 5.7 seconds short.
That's why they say it's a game of seconds here. Every second counts.
So the 113-pound matchup looks like it's going to be a double forfeit, which will take us to the 120-pound matchup. Fountain Hills J.P. Cahill receiving a forfeit from Santan Foothills. So that means no 113-pound, no 120-pound matchup. That'll put us into the 126-pound competition with Nolan Kivusan versus Travis Trampany from Fountain Hills.
And Kivasan, it says here, is a transfer from Texas. That's pretty interesting there, a junior transfer. And it also says he's returning from a shoulder injury, so it'll be interesting to see how he fares with that ailment.
How would a shoulder injury potentially impact you throughout a wrestling match?
I mean, if you're babying it, it's going to be huge. If it's not fully recovered before you start that next match, you're looking at a huge disadvantage because that's the epicenter of your arm, and as we can see here, tying up, throwing, shooting, all that stuff requires your arm. So, I would imagine that's a huge disadvantage. Looks like Santan Foothills there going for a throw, almost had it in.
So we're at the 1 minute 30-second mark of period number 1. Kivusan on top, and
nice reversal there by Kivasan.
It looks like he's got that leg hooked as
he's looking for a cradle there, Steven, a far side cradle. His coach is telling him to circle back and then now to bring him back. He's on the wrong side there. If he just knows to keep going with that, he could have him turned. Coach telling him to keep it there, keep working for that cradle. Now he got too far up, and he is now on his back. He needs to get to his stomach there, which he should be able to because, the half is now in. Oh, no.
Oh, and he's in a bad position there as Trampany
with a...
rolls him over.
Did not see that one coming.
But, in our earlier matchup, you didn't see the comeback coming either. Once again, it's just evidence how quickly this can change.
Yeah, the tides can take a turn just like that.
A quick mental lapse, you get out of position. Somebody takes advantage of that, and then all of a sudden the match is over.
You literally have to be on your P's and Q's, on your top of your game at all times.
All right, it looks like upcoming we have Austin Maselli taking on Gavin Fury of Fountain Hills in the 130-pound matchup.
Coming out to Rocky, this is going to be a good one. And both these wrestlers look very, very well defined.
If I'm not mistaken, Rocky was a boxer, was he not?
Yes, he was. Oh, wow. Going with the gator roll there. It seems like Gavin Fury here does have the upper hand. He has quite the advantage with his veteranness. You know, he's been around a lot longer here as a senior.
And 1 minute and 30 seconds remaining in period number 1. 2-0 lead to Fountain Hills right now as the wrestlers work on the mat, trying to get that strong positioning that can carry them through this next minute and possibly score some points.
Yeah, Maselli looking for an escape here while Fury is just looking to turn him onto his back to get the pin as we are now halfway through the first.
And really, you're looking at the raw strength of Maselli to keep his body positioning and not get thrown around.
Yeah, no, he's definitely holding his own here, as Fury does not look like an easy task to fight off.
And we can see that the wrestlers have moved off of our screen here, but they are near the outside of the circle as they start to make their way back towards the center of the circle.
Yeah, almost an out of bounds there, but moving back in. Fury's got the 2-on-1 there, looking for an arm bar. Oh no, he's got the double arm bar here, and he's about to start walking it around. And if he gets up towards Maselli's head, he's going to turn him. Maselli needs to break that lock and get his hands free.
Trying to hold on for that last 10 seconds. We have 10 seconds remaining until the end of period number 1.
Maselli hanging in there, his headgear's falling off and everything. And he ends up holding in. Great job there by Maselli to hold off. So it's Maselli's choice, and it looks like we actually have a stoppage here for him to get a second to fix his mask and face mask. So Stephen, if you had a choice, would you? I see some of the guys here going with the gator style, some going with like the medical style mask. What do you think you would wear?
See, I always find that with the gator style, the restriction around my neck makes it feel worse than just the mask.
Gotcha,
and especially if I'm doing
layer.
Yeah, and if I'm in an athletic competition, if I'm wrestling or playing basketball, I feel like the added heat of having something around my neck would really, it just wouldn't make me feel good. So I would go with the mask.
For sure. Oh yeah, I agree. Have a less chances to get overheated. That's the last thing you want.
But then, like, from a strategy standpoint, you can almost look at with the mask, you've got the 2 elastic straps around your ears, and that's something that could potentially get pulled on. That's something that could be used as an advantage if the referee doesn't see it. A finger slips under there. Now all of a sudden, they can be competitive advantage almost, or disadvantage depending on what side of the what you're receiving.
Absolutely, and depending on how long this pandemic goes, you got to think too if we're going to start seeing face masks that actually get built specifically for sports, and if maybe they'll be more ergonomical and easier for the wrestlers to breathe, or for all athletes, because like you said earlier, I believe it's not just wrestling. Basketball has to wear them, and basically almost all the other sports too, right?
And what's really interesting is that you're even starting to see that in like the varsity and JV cheer competitions. There's specialized masks that the athletes wear that are designed specifically for that sport. And I think you're right. If this does continue as it is right now, you're probably going to see specialized masks for each of the individual sports to minimize the impact that they have.
Absolutely. And returning back to the action here, the ref flipped the coin green, so it was Maselli's choice, and he deferred. And it looks like Fury chose neutral. So third period, it will be Maselli's choice.
And it is a low-scoring matchup here with Santan Foothills. No points on the board to 2 by Fountain Hills, but that is not indicative of the amount of work the athletes have put in for this match.
Absolutely. And Fury here just working him down as what the coaches would call throwing the head down, being very aggressive there, and was able to spin him around to get 2 points on the takedown. Score is now 4-0 Fury. But like you said, Maselli here holding his own, showing that he's very strong and very sturdy. And it looks like Fury's got a deep cradle in there. Had it anyways. Ref's going to give him 2-point near fall there.
And that's going to push our score to 6-0 as Fury has a 6-point lead over Maselli with 1 minute to go in period number 2. wrestlers continue to work near the center of the map.
He's got that third three-quarter stack in there, and it looks like he's got a hip out here, break that. He's got to break Fury's lock, and he's got him. Oh, Maselli was a turnaround. Just all he had to do was bring that right hand around, and he had the reversal there. But instead, Fury gets the 3-point near fall, making the score 9-1. It looks like he's going to let Maselli up here and give him the neutral stance.
Austin Maselli, another one of the JV football players that has come over to join the SaberCat team for the wrestling season. And not only was Maselli a JV football player, he was also the MVP and 1-0 on this young season.
Awesome. That's very nice. It's amazing what wrestling can do for these football players. So they're not only by keeping themselves in shape during the off season, but the amount of impact this has on their tackling skills and just a bunch of other things that transfer onto the football field as well. So. Nice choice by these.
And as we have a break in the action, Maselli battles a bloody nose there. It's not only that way. I mean, we talk a lot about how wrestling and sports like track can impact a football player and the skills that they gain. But somebody who's committed to the sport of wrestling that's looking to do that, looking to scholarship in wrestling, what sports like football can do to help with the wrestling skills as well.
Yeah, no, and I think they do go hand in hand, and like you said, you see a lot of those pro athletes. You'll never know it, but they wrestled too. Like I don't know if you know Ray Lewis wrestled back in the day.
Absolutely,
he was a really good linebacker for the Baltimore Ravens. All right, we're returning to the action here. 29 seconds left in the match as Austin Maselli tries to escape again, and it looks like he will get it. Oh, he almost had it. Is the ref going to call him down? Wow, the ref did not give him the point there for the escape. Fury was able to maintain connection there.
All right, and that means with 19 and a half seconds remaining in period number 2, there's a 9-1 lead for Fountain Hills as the wrestlers compete for this final 10 seconds of period number 2.
Looks like Maselli's wearing out here, Steven. He's not coming with that same energy he had just a few seconds ago. Fury's really making him tired.
And while he does get to that break, you wonder when you have a bloody nose and you have to go get treated by the trainer, that takes some of your momentum away, and you come back out and possibly a little bit flat after you haven't expended those muscles for a minute or 2 minutes.
Oh, absolutely. It's amazing how quickly you can tighten up, from going from live action to not wrestling at all. And it looks like Austin chose neutral here, and we have a takedown by Fury here at Fountain Hills. Working with the 2-on-1 with his right arm there. Austin Maselli really he's got to get an escape here or a reversal.
And from watching this match for the last several minutes, it just seems that Gavin Fury has the technical skills to prevent that from happening. Despite everything Maselli's doing, Fury has the answer for everything that's going on.
Absolutely, Fury does look like he's been around the sport for quite a while. He's got the physique, he's got the skill set. He's even got the knee brace. So I always said, watch out for the guys with the knee braces. They know what they're doing. But nonetheless, Austin Maselli is hanging tough here and looks like he's about to get this escape. He's just got to rip that hand free.
But once again, Fury has the answer to that, holds on and gets him in a takedown.
No, Fury definitely knows what he's doing here, Steven, for sure.
But the fight of Austin Maselli is just incredible because it'd be very easy to get frustrated, to give up, to stop giving your all, especially when you have a wrestler like Fury that just seems to have an answer for everything that you're doing.
And you see here, coaches of Fury just told him to let up Maselli here to go neutral. So it looks like they know that Maselli can't stop Fury's takedown game.
And that's indicated by the score with Fountain Hills leading 11-2 at the moment with 40 seconds remaining until the end of this match.
Maselli's definitely got a chance to do something here as Fury just slipped up. He's got to get that arm. Wow. Oh, he
you
just
can
got
see.
too far up on Fury there.
And they're almost off our camera screen here, but that was an incredible attempt by Maselli, countered by Fury, and he is tapped out
Yeah.
with 18 seconds left. But that was just a really good way to end that match for Maselli. Ended on a positive. You don't walk away with the victory, but you showed what you could do.
Oh, yeah, no, and oh, man, on top of that, I just realized these guys have mouthpieces on under their masks. I don't know how they're doing it, but Maselli showed heart there. Almost got the last second reversal and pin.
And that's going to push us to the 138-pound weight class with Sabercat Anthony Hood taking on Stephen Brodsky from Fountain Hills.
And Brodsky with the early shoot in there on the double leg. Hood's showing that he's got his game too with the blockage there. He's got a good crossface in right now. Both wrestlers are still neutral. And the ref has just awarded Fountain Hills with a 2-point takedown. Hood is not in a good spot right now as he is headlocked. Oh, I don't like that right there. He had him on his back, and the ref stopped the action momentarily. Looks like for a blood.
Yeah, I think I heard it say potentially dangerous, but there were points awarded to Fountain Hills as they take a 5-0 lead here. 34 seconds into period number 1.
And I think what the call was, it either had to be a potentially dangerous of the headlock where he didn't have the wrestler's arm as well. He just had the head. But it does look like the Fountain Hills wrestler here does have a bloody nose. So we are stopped for blood time.
You know, and that's something that's going to come with a sport like this when you're at close contact. When
See it every match. Oh, yeah.
The hands are flying around. You're trying to get positioning. You're trying to get grips. And, you know, that's something that just happens, and it's part of the sport of wrestling.
And more times than not, it is, non-voluntary or, the wrestler didn't mean to do it to his opponent.
Well, it's always so interesting with wrestling, the controlled aggression to go out there, to be giving your all, to be throwing those bodies around, and then after the match realize that it was all part of the sport. There's no animosity. It's just sheer aggression.
Oh, yeah. No, when you're on that mat, man, it's all bets are off.
And, Coach Darren Johnson has described Anthony Hood as the hardest worker on the team. He was a varsity starter for the Santan Foothills football team, and in addition to being a captain, he's 1-0 on the season as well.
And it looks like he has an early escape here. Very nice. Oh, and the quick reversal as he sends Fountain Hills straight to his back. Hood needs to keep his positioning here.
Oh, and he's got Brodsky in a good position here as Stephen Brodsky works his way out of the hold. Anthony Hood is still locked in, but
and the Hood just got awarded 5 points there, 2 for the takedown, 3 for the near fall. So the score is now tied 5-5.
And that's a big swing as Hood continues to work on the mat. 40 seconds remaining to go in period number 1, tied at 5.
Hood looking for a far side cradle here. Oh, and a mistake there by Fountain Hills. Brodsky goes straight to his back. I don't think he meant to do that.
And this looks like it could be over at any moment here.
And it is. Pin.
Anthony Hood takes out Stephen Brodsky in period number 1, 20 seconds remaining.
I think showing there why Coach Johnson calls him his hardest worker.
Yeah, and Coach Darren Johnson, for a hefty guy, he's pretty nimble and quite handsome to boot.
Oh, yeah. And he's even got it down to that bleach blonde hair over there. It's a little wrestling tradition he likes to do with his every new team he goes to. He bleaches his hair blonde.
You don't think that's just because he's 87 years old?
Keeping up with the times, right? Looks like we're moving on here to the 145-pound weight class as the Santan Foothills David Robeltoth takes on Brandon Becker of Fountain Hills. Robeltoth looking to tie up while Becker's looking to stay neutral here, looking probably for a double leg or a single leg. Oh, Becker ties up as well. Both wrestlers looking for hand strength and arm strength.
And I think it's Robeloth. I'm getting help. Matt Perales, who's our PA announcer, is trying to help us out with that one. It is definitely a difficult last name. Our score remains 0-0, 1 minute, 20 seconds remaining to go in period number 1 as the wrestlers work from the neutral position in the center, but a takedown.
And Robeloth listening to his coaches there with the head snap, but just went a little bit too overboard and kind of found himself in a bad spot here as he gets pinned with only a minute left in the first.
Yeah,
so Becker showing to be the
fighting from that neutral position, but just lost a little bit of balance. And when you fall the wrong way and the other wrestler takes advantage of that, it's hard to get out of that hold.
And Coach Johnson was calling for a head snap there, and if you saw, he got it on Becker, but was just, like I said, a little bit too overzealous and found himself in a bad position on the flip side.
And it looks like as we head into the 152-pound match, it's going to be our final wrestling match of the night. Jared Shumway versus Dom Flynn in the 152-pound weight class, getting ready to start here.
Looks like this will be our last match of the night, right?
This is it right here. And you can see the teams, the last match of the night, everyone's more into that match than any other match because you know this is going to end it. This is our nightcap.
Absolutely. Especially when it comes down to the wire via points and we got the close one, so it's always exciting.
1 minute and 30 seconds remaining. Score right now is Santan Foothills 1, Fountain Hills 4. Good positioning here for Dom Flynn.
As he lets up Shumway. Looks like he's kind of toying with him a little bit, letting him up and getting. Oh no, he's got the bear hug there right to Shumway's back, but he's able to get to his front side there.
Real good job to roll over to the stomach and prevent the pin there, but still in a really weak position as he tries to fight out of the hold of Dom Flynn, down by 9 points with 52 seconds remaining to go in period number 1.
And Flynn with a great cradle there. Looks like he's going to pin him, and he does.
And it only takes 64 seconds for that pin to come. Dom Flynn for Fountain Hills victorious over Jared Shumway.
And Flynn showing great technical skill there with that cradle.
And it looks like that's going to end tonight's matchup as the teams head out to the mat.
Oh, I think we're actually going to do that.
We're going to do a goodbye wave because in the world of COVID, of course, we don't want to be shaking hands on our way out of here.
That's the first time I actually saw something like that. That's very interesting.
But a hard-fought match by everyone involved.
Oh, it looks like actually, Steven, we're going to do that exhibition match from earlier that they kind of skipped over.
Awesome. So let's showcase, before we end the stream right here, we'll go ahead and showcase the exhibition match here.
Oh, we got a quick takedown. We're on a single leg. And he's keeping that leg, and he's also going to try and go for the half. Smart move there.
Well, you know, in an exhibition match like this, especially to end the night, the loser of this match is going to get ridiculed on the bus ride home. So
probably has to buy lunch at school on Monday morning, something like that.
So you know they're going to give it their all. Fountain Hills is a good 60 to 90 minute drive from where we are here in Santan Valley.
He'll be hearing it all the whole ride home.
So both these wrestlers are going to give it their all. Both these wrestlers from Fountain Hills.
I don't know if you saw that viral video go around where the one wrestler, they're clearly teammates, and they play rock, paper, scissors right as the ref blows the whistle, and the loser just falls to his back and lets his teammate pin him. It was a funny one.
We may end up seeing that here in this
Whoa, hey, he's got a
exhibition
funky
matchup.
little move going on here. Looks like a 3/4 stack with the leg hooked in. He's trying to get the pin.
These exhibition matches are where you can try some of your crazier moves out. There's no risk of losing a match on something crazy. So
Yeah, you don't have your coach there getting mad at you for trying something in an important match. You can really, lay it all out there and try whatever.
yeah, you go for the double backflip, sweep the leg into a pin.
Right.
Both these wrestlers are working hard here in this exhibition match.
Yeah, the wrestler on bottom trying to get that neutral positioning. It looks like he will be awarded that 1-point escape. Brings the score to 6-2.
Yeah, it's difficult with both of them being in the Fountain Hills white-colored. What do you call a wrestling outfit?
Oh, that is actually called a singlet.
Okay,
Yeah,
the singlet.
For those at
that's
home
right.
that don't know, that is a singlet.
Yeah, or for those of us in the broadcast booth here that don't know.
Right.
But it's hard for me to tell who's winning because I don't know either of these wrestlers out here.
Absolutely. This is where like the red and green come into play, and I believe red is winning right now, 8-2. So see how he has the red anklet on. I believe that he is the one that is up right now. But yeah, like you were saying, it is very hard to tell, especially when they almost look like twins and have the same outfit.
But that's okay because, like we were talking about earlier in the broadcast, you've got the world of COVID out there where schools are closed and students are learning virtually. To just have the opportunity for these kids to come out and participate in athletics and to be with their teammates and have that camaraderie, it's just good to see this opportunity for all the kids that are out here tonight. Absolutely,
yeah. I know it is good seeing them actually get to, be with one another and congregate and have that, because team sports, you're a family, so it's like you miss each other if you're away from each other too long, and it must be weird, having to go from being in person in school to strictly online and it's different for everybody.
Well, sure, and then you have all because of what we're talking about here, you have all the safety protocols that are in, and the AIA has really done a lot to try and keep these athletes safe with limiting the amount of people that can come to participate and having the masks during the competition, which I know there's a lot of discussion about that, but all these decisions are made with athlete safety in mind.
Absolutely, yes, and they're doing a great job. So far as we saw, the ref he stopped the congratulations or the handshaking from happening before it happened, and I wasn't even expecting that. So just the little things like that, and they're doing a good job.
Perfect. Well, that is going to end tonight's live stream of Varsity Wrestling from Santan Foothills High School. Any closing thoughts before we close this broadcast?
No, man, it was a pleasure having me here with you guys, and just thankful for the opportunity, and look forward to next time.
Perfect. On behalf of the staff and students here at Santan Foothills High School, thank you for watching tonight's broadcast.